Hello, Spiffers. How are we doing today? It's me, Jamie Woodhouse from SaaS Educators. Good to see all of you. Hope you're having a great week and hope you're enjoying learning more about Salesforce Spiff. I'm definitely having a lot of fun doing these videos and teaching the classes that I teach. So come and join me. I'm coming to a city near you. Go to saaseducators.com to find out and sign up. I'd love to see you in person. Anyway, let's get started. This is a continuation from last week and actually the week before. We've been talking about creating what-if rules or potential commission rules within Spiff. So let's see where we ended up last week. To go back to our slide deck, we've completed this population piece. We created the data filters last week. I've got a link in the description below. If you missed that one, you definitely want to see that one first. Actually, both of the beginning ones to understand what we're doing. But this is now taking it from, we've got the population we need. Now, how do we actually create the payout rule? So that we have the commission logic, so that we actually have commissions or potential commissions that the reps can see on their statements. So when we asked ourselves what plan are we going to use, we're going to be using the existing YouTube example plan that we've been using for all of our videos. And as far as the payout rule goes, we looked through. Let me just kind of tab through. I'm going to open Designer in a new tab so that you can see this as I'm working through it. So we've got our YouTube example plan over here on the left. And all of these payout rules, there's not an existing one that actually pays the commission out, the actual commission out that we want to show the potential commissions. This deal percent ARR is the closest one, but we actually don't want to use this custom field that we created. We're going to use an if statement to give us kind of a comparison based off of the ARR of the deal. They get a certain commission percentage. Bigger the deal, bigger the percentage. So we don't have that one yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a brand new payout rule. And we're actually going to do the what if first, and then we'll build the actual commission afterwards. You can actually do it either way. If you have the actual commission, you can build the what if rule. But I'll show you a nice little trick or tip that you can use to make sure that the logic is the same. So let's jump in. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to build ourselves a brand new payout rule for our potential. And what we're going to call this is we're going to call this the New Deal Commission Plan. Not a really good name, but we're just keeping it simple for the training here. And so I'm actually going to create two new rules. We're going to have the potential New Deal Commission payout rule, and then we're going to have the actual New Deal Commission rule, so they can see once they close that it actually, rolls in and they get the commission once that closes. So let's start by doing the what if rule first. We do the same thing as we would, the same starting point that we would creating any new payout rules. We just create a new data sheet. I like having separate data sheets for each of my payout rules, makes it a little cleaner. We do a new data sheet. I'm going to go ahead and name this one. So I'm going to call this one potential. You could say what if you wanted to, potential new deal data sheet. I know the data sheet and the worksheet is redundant. I like having the words rather than knowing based off of the icon, but that's just your preference there. Whenever you're creating a new data sheet, it's going to first tell you, okay, this is empty. We need to go to our object. And so we select the object where we created the data filters from last week. So we know that these are in the opportunities. And then we select the filter that we created. And if you remember from last week, we created this what if folder, which we'll be able to see in our browse, or I can just start typing in potential, not closed one, by rep in the next 3 months. And that's what I want to build my data sheet off of. And that's how we get started. I'm going to go ahead and move this to March since we were using March as an example. And anytime I create new data sheets, I always kind of start from the same place and then I build off of it. You've probably seen that in a lot of my videos that I do. It's totally up to you. This is only available to you as an admin. And so it's really just data you need as an admin to build these out. I always like adding the deal name that's synced from Salesforce, the ARR, of course, because that's what we're paying the percentage off of, and the close date. Since this is potential, close date may or may not be something that you need to see, but it just kind of helps me to make sure that I'm looking at the next 3 months worth of deals, potential deals that are about to close. And from here, all I need to do, again, I'm keeping this pretty simple. I always feel bad because I want to keep these short and sweet, nice little 5-minute tips, even though I always go over 5 minutes. So I don't go into rate tables or marginal payouts or tier payouts, because that's why you come to my class. Those take hours and hours for us to work through and build. And these videos are not really able to be doing that. So if you're kind of rolling your eyes when we create these and you're like, all right, Woodhouse, this is just too simple, none of my deals are as simple as that, then yeah, come to my class. But I'm just going to do a quick little if statement. I'm going to create a new field. I'm calling this new deal commission rate. Now notice I didn't call it potential new deal commission rate or actual new deal commission rate, because the calculation is going to be the same. And this is one tip that not a lot of people realize. Sometimes, when you're creating data sheets, you just keep creating all this brand new information. Well, since the potential and the actual, the calculations are actually exactly the same. It's just your population is different. You can actually use the same calculations in both. That way you only have to change calculations once. If you ever make edits in it, it will change both the potential rule as well as the actual rule. So let me show you what I mean by that. So we've got new deal commission. We're just going to say, we're going to make this an if statement. If the ARR is greater than 15,000, then give them a 5% greater than or equal to. I know you guys like doing greater than or equal to's. Is greater than 15,000, do 5% rate, else give them a 3% rate. Something pretty simple, pretty easy. I always like changing the format when I'm creating this so that the display format is actually a percentage. And since it's either 3% or 5%, I can just drop the precision down to 0 and it will just give me a nice clean 5% or 3%. It looks like it's working correctly, because if it's over 15,000, then it's giving 5%. If it's less than 15,000, it's giving 3%. Ava's doing really great, so there's not a whole lot of 3% examples. But now that I've got the commission rate, all I have to do is just create the commission amount. Now, with the actual commission amounts, this is the one field that can't be shareable. When you're creating a payout rule off of a commission amount, that's it. This is the only data sheet and the only payout rule that will be able to use this. And so even though the population changes, I sometimes want to use this same field for both the potential as well as the actual, but the one that gets the purple $ that is tied to a commission, you can't share that across. So that's okay. So we're going to call this one potential new deal commission. And we're just going to have that equal the ARR times the commission rate. All right. Are we done? No, we're not done yet. We got one more step. Once we get this calculated correctly, we're going to go ahead and create a new payout rule from here. And this is where we can put in the spaces in the new name. I probably don't want commission in there. This is just going to be my potential new deal. I must have misspelled potential. I should have fixed that when I'm renaming things, but for sake of time, I'm just going to roll with it. And go ahead and under the more, let's go ahead and create this as a what if rule. We confirm that it's a what if rule and we go ahead and create that. What that does is now when the payout rule gets created on my example plan, I get this nice what if icon. It's grayed out. It's not going to be included in the payout rule total, which isn't a lot of help for you as an admin. This is just a screen in Designer that you as an admin need. But next week, when we actually build out the rep statement, this is where the reps will be able to dive in and kind of see some details. So it'll make a little bit more sense as we complete it all out afterwards. All right. Well, I know I'm at time. I thought about switching this up and maybe making 2 videos out of this, but I'm just going to do this really quick. If I wanted to create the actual new deal, or maybe we'll just call it new deal, since we've got potential new deal, I just need to create another data sheet. We need to create a new data sheet here no matter what, because we're dealing with a different population, a different data filter. So I'm going to call this one actual new deal data sheet. And honestly, I'm not going to, well, I got to select my object first. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. And my filter is my closed by rep in period that we've used before. This just gives me every deal that's closed in the period. All right. Now, again, as an admin, I can choose to add a bunch of stuff in here. But honestly, since I've already got the commission rate calculated, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to have my ARR and I'm going to times it by my new deal commission rate. And I'm going to create an actual new deal commission. And I'm going to have that equal to ARR times that commission rate. And that gives me my actuals. Okay. So these are deals that are actually closed. That's configured by my data filter that I use for this data sheet. So really that's the only difference between the potential and the actual is just which filter you're using, which population you're running this against. So I'm going to create a new payout rule. I'm not going to call it actual because reps will see this. They know that they've got a new deal payout rule. So I'm just going to call this one new deal and create it. All right. So pretty straightforward when you build the potential one out and you have, that takes a little bit more time. But if you use the same calculations, it's pretty straightforward. You basically just get whatever the end result is to get your rate, and you just multiply that by the ARR or whatever you're multiplying it against. And the population will know, okay, these are everything that's closed in March, where this is what's going to close in the next 3 months. And it works out really slick like that. And again, the reason why I like using that, it's really up to you. A lot of people just, that kind of freaks them out that you have one calculation doing both things. But the reason why I like that is because if I go into any of these, so if I go to my new deal and I'm making edits to where I don't want this to be 3% and 5%, I want it to be 2% and 4%, then I save that here, and notice what happens is when I come back here, it affects both of them. See? So that's awesome. Keeps it consistent, keeps it so that when I make edits or changes, I'm not having to remember, okay, I've got a potential and the actual, and I got to change it in both places. You change it once, and it changes in both places. So really slick there. All right. Hopefully that wasn't too fast. That's a little faster than I typically do. But since we've been doing these videos a little bit longer and understanding that you guys can pause and rewind, finally understanding that, hopefully you can kind of follow my steps there and see how these work. But next week we will finish this all out and complete the rep statements so that you can see how this all finishes out. So thanks everybody for joining me. Again, shameless plug, go to SaaSeducators.com and come and join me at a class that hopefully is coming to a city near you. Seats are filling up, so the spring season is in full effect. Go and register. And early bird pricing is going for some of the seminars if you get there fast enough. So go ahead and take a look there and come join me. You'll get hands-on environments just like the one that I'm using for these videos, so that we're going to play around with it and build together to make sure that you understand how to do everything that we're doing in Salesforce Spiff. All right. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.